Welcome back to our study called the Book of Edom. And we've been looking at this Genesis chapter 36 section here with all these different names. And we finally made it to verses 20 through 30. And I called this section the Sons of Seir because this is exactly who this list of names is all about. So we're going to take a look at this list and see if there's anything going on here that we can kind of put together in the story of what we've been learning so far in the rest of Genesis. So starting in verse 20, we have a list of Seir the Horites families. Now why is this here? That's the question that we should ask, why genealogies are where they're at, because there's a reason for that. It's not just like, hey, we should throw a genealogy in here somewhere. Oh, okay, just throw it there. You know, there's a reason why this is here. Now remember, the reason why Moses is talking about Esau is because in the last section, the last chapter, it kind of ended talking about how Jacob and Esau got together to bury Isaac. And so it flows kind of naturally then, okay, let me talk about Esau one last time, and so I'll include the genealogies here. And that makes sense. But then we get this part where, okay, we got Esau's family, but now why do we have this guy Seir the Horite? Okay, now we know that Esau moves to Mount Seir, right? So, okay, must be the same guy, right? And we would be right. This is it. So there are several reasons why else this is here. First, you might have noticed some familiar people in this section. Now, verse 22 mentions Lotan, who had a sister named Timna. All right, so Eliphaz's concubine Timna was a Horite. She was related to these people that were in the land of Seir. And hopefully you also notice the names Anah, Zibeon, and Oholibamah. Yes, one of Esau's wives was also a Horite, one of these families of Seir, one of these children of Seir. So one of the reasons why this list is here is because it is a record of how these two Horite, these two women who were related to Seir, ended up in Esau's family. So it makes sense. That's why it's here, because this is also Esau's family. He married into this family who was there. So he got a wife, Esau got a wife, and then one of his sons, Eliphaz, had a relationship with a woman there too. So there we go. Now, a second reason for this list is that these were the inhabitants of the land before Esau moved his family there. We read the list of the families, and at the end we have the 7 chiefs, or again, the military or political leaders of this people. Now, why is this significant? Well, if you look at Deuteronomy chapter 2, I think we get a clue as to why this is important. Remember, Moses wrote Genesis, he also wrote Deuteronomy, and so we got to kind of take the Pentateuch as a unit here. And so the first 5 books kind of go together. So we can find clues into reasons why one part is here and might be picked up in another part in another book too. And so if we go to chapter 2 of Deuteronomy, we see this. And let me read it to you. It says, "Then we turned and journeyed into the wilderness in the direction of the Red Sea, as the Lord told me. And for many days we traveled around Mount Seir." What? Yes, that's right. So the people left Egypt and they eventually made it to Mount Seir, where Esau's descendants were living. It says, "Then the Lord said to me, 'You have been traveling around this mountain country long enough. Turn northward and command the people you are about to pass through the territory of your brothers, the people of Esau, who live in Seir. And they will be afraid of you, so be very careful. Do not contend with them, for I will not give you any of their land. No, not so much as for the sole of the foot to tread on.'" So he's not even going to give you 12 inches here. "Because I have given Mount Seir to Esau as a possession." Then if you skip down to verses 21 through 22 in that chapter, it says, "But the Lord destroyed them before the Ammonites, and they dispossessed them and settled in their place, as he did for the people of Esau who live in Seir, when he destroyed the Horites before them, and they dispossessed them and settled in their place even to this day." There we go. And so we have in the list of the Horite people, the original inhabitants that Esau and his family either destroyed or intermarried with, and then kicked them out of the land. Either they completely killed them, or they ran them out. And then, obviously, Esau married one of their daughters, and but yet they dispossessed these people out of the land. They were gone. They left. They had to leave. Esau's household removed these people from that land by God's. That was God's desire. That was God's will to get rid of those people. So he used the sexually immoral and evil Esau and his family to do that. God can do that. He can use those people as his tools to accomplish his purpose, which he often does. And so that's the end of that list. That's why the people of Seir are mentioned here, because it's where Esau got one of his wives, where the other woman came from, and then you can also see that that's where they got the land from, is from these people. Those are the chiefs, those are the tribes of people that they kicked out or destroyed. So that is why that is here. All right, well, that's the end of that one. So come back next time. We're going to look at this last section here of 31 through 43.